And we're live.
Hello and welcome to another live demonstration. As part of the Back to Basics series, I want to talk to you about colour mixing. Now, colour mixing, I thought was, I do it a little bit, but I don't really go into great detail or challenge myself just to have all the colours I've got and mix them. So I challenged myself and I thought, it's going to be really tedious and boring, but actually it was really exciting because you've got surprising colour mixes. You think red and blue make purple. Well, actually, it depends on your red, depends on your blue, what colour it makes. And so I was really quite excited by it. So I did purples. There's nothing wrong with your pre-mixed colours because, as you can see, your pre-mixed colours are often a lot brighter than you can make with your reds and blues. But you get some wonderful mauves and browns and colours that, once you've done this, you then makes it much easier if you want a much more realistic painting or you want colours to match what you're seeing, by just going, oh, let's try the alizarin and the potter's blue because it makes that lovely mauve colour. So I've done these colour charts, and all I've done is approximately a 50-50 mix of, I have lots of colours because I'm lucky I have access to a lot of colours. You may not have all these colours. That doesn't matter. I think even with 1 or 2 or 3 colours, it's worth seeing what possibilities you can get out of them. So it's basic primary mixing, red and blue, but which red, which blue will make that purple? And I was really surprised by the purples and found actually making a purple is quite difficult. It's really quite difficult to get the right red and blue mix. And you can see from here all the purples you made. Oranges. Now, oranges weren't so hard. Actually, you made some really nice variations of orange. So the red and the yellow do make an orange. And nearly all the reds I had, I included potter's pink because I wanted to see, just to mix it up a little bit. And I included the raw sienna, which is a yellow in its own right. And I wanted to see what colours you can make. And again, about a 50-50 mix, but orange isn't such a hard colour to make. And again, there's nothing wrong with using a pre-mixed colour because you can alter that colour slightly by adding a bit more red or a bit more yellow. What I really want to look at is mixing greens in this session because this colour mixing will take up far too much time. All I advise is you have a go, you try, and you do see what your colours will do. So I want to talk to you mainly about mixing greens. So we're taught at school, blue, yellow, make green, which is true when you get the right blue and the right yellow, but it's really quite hard to know from the colours you have which blue and yellow will make the green you're looking for. So again, I've had access to a lot of blues and a lot of yellows. So I created this chart, and like I said, I thought, it seems quite tedious. But I was really excited by it. Naples yellow, it's a cool, opaque yellow. And look at the beautiful turquoise you get by mixing it with the different blues. That was really exciting. And then some of these olive greens that you get. I knew the brighter colours would make a bright green, but I wasn't sure which yellow would make the brightest green or the more realistic green. So again, how useful these colour charts actually are. So all I can do now is just kind of know which colours I'm looking for, and I know which colours to pick up in a, say, flower. I'm always thinking flowers with this because it's a green or a landscape. But I can kind of say, oh, that's the colour I'm looking for. Oh, it's India yellow, it's cerulean. Look how it granulates. Sometimes the colours separate a little bit, and that makes exciting effects. But again, there's nothing wrong with the pre-mixed colours. The pre-mixed colours are lovely in their own right. And you can alter these by adding a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue, and change the colours of the pre-mixed. But what I'm trying to show you is how useful these little exercises are. And actually, it was stand you instead. I wasn't just learning about the colour mixing. What I was learning about was how much water I need to make a colour, how to hold the brush, differences between opaque colours, because I know cadmium yellow's opaque, and mixing it with a transparent colour, how opaque it makes it, or mixing it with 2 opaque colours, how that alters it. And all of these things you're just learning by doing, and I think that's important. So that's the first simple mix, blue, yellow, making a green about 50-50. So we can move on from there. So I've chosen, I'm going to hopefully do 3, it depends on the time. But I've got French ultramarine, which is probably a colour you all have, and cadmium yellow. Again, probably a colour you have in your range of colours. So French ultramarine, cadmium yellow. And what I want to do is, I know that, I pretty much know that 50% mix of this, 50% mix makes that colour I've shown on this chart. But what happens if I put 30% yellow compared to, so I'm going to get a bluer green and a yellower green. So this is the next stage on from that simple colour chart. So I'm just going to do a swatch here of the blue. And I'm going to try and remember to keep one of these pots clean, and the yellow. So they're my starting colours. We know that 50%, about 50% will make this colour. So it makes a dull green, quite a natural green, but again, I could add a bit of red if I wanted to change the tone a little bit. But what happens if I add more blue? So a little bit more blue going that way, and then maybe even more blue. It's going to make a much duller colour that way. Not a huge difference that way. Let's try going back to middling and then add in more yellow and even more. What depends on is which is the stronger colour, the most dominant colour. If the yellow's a very bright, strong colour and the blue's very transparent, you'll get much more yellow-green, no matter how much blue you try to add to it. But these are fairly evenly strength. The cadmium's an opaque, so you can make some really lovely yellow-greens. You can see there. So that is taking it to a next stage. And not only have I got different swatches of colour, I can also do different strengths. So let's build up less water, more pigment, and do a line swatch. Okay, that's a nice green. So clean my brush, and for a line swatch, which means it's tonal, so dark all the way through to light, using a natural hairbrush, because for this kind of work, it holds the water, it gives you a nice, clean, fresh line. So I'm going to load my brush up with water, just take off some excess, and then what I'm going to do is make sure I'm just using the tip, rolling my brush around to make sure it's loaded. And then what I do, as I want a wetter wash, I let the water from the belly of the brush load down. So you can see that makes another, all those tones are available. Just loading up again, try it again, because it's a bit too wet. I want it quite dark right through to light. I want to get the best tone I can, and that's because I had still too wet. So again, let's try again. And this is all from just those two colours at the moment. Let's wet it all the way through. So two colours, and you can see I can keep going. I can keep adding more yellow, more blue, and you can see how many different colours. That's just two colours which you've probably got in your palette. So practice paper I'm using, so it's an artist quality paper, but I'm not worried about my final piece. And you can see here the ultramarine is granulating, and look how it's splitting in there. When you dry, you see the real potential of it. So that was colours that you probably have. I'm going to do the same with my favourite colours. This is the Tropical Phthalo Blue and Lemon Yellow. Now these are bright colours. Bright, yellow, bright blue. So again, we know the starting colour. And like I said, I thought this would be quite tedious, quite boring, just wanted to get on with painting, get on with it. But actually, I got really excited, which is why I'm doing this for you, because I was surprised by what I was seeing. Just need to, because it's a strong blue, I don't want to contaminate the yellow. So again, it's a nice bright yellow. So 50-50, I'm guessing, will make quite a bright green. Now, because the blue I know is stronger, it's the blue that's going to be quite dominant. So that's a lovely green. A bit unnatural, but let's see what happens by adding a little bit more blue. That's a lovely turquoise colour. I mean, a lot of it you can predict, but sometimes it really does surprise you, which I'll hopefully be able to show you at the end. And let's start by adding some of the, let's go back, do it more yellow. It's really lime green. And this is going to be a real acid green. Might even go one more stage. I think I can, because the blue's really strong, I've got so many potential colours with this. Look at those. So again, 2 colours, and I can do more. I can do so much more colours. When you are colour mixing and you're doing it for a specific area, what I would always recommend is you mix plenty of colour, because it's not easy, especially with watercolour, to mix that exact same colour again. You will get slight variations in it. So let's see if I can do that long swatch. It might be a bit too wet on my brush. You'll see I'm quite messy on my palette, which isn't good. I would probably advise you to have ones with wells in and clean your brush each time. Let's see if I can do a long swatch on this one. Right through, bringing out the water. It's no problem. I'll do it like that, and then as wet as I can do it. So again, looking at the potential, still just 2 colours. What I could do is put that blue with the cadmium yellow, and then you're starting to bring out even more. Right, last one, because I'm sure you've got the idea, and I hope you have a go and try. I just want to show you 2 different colours, 2 colours that I found were really interesting. These are 2 of the colours that, by doing that full swatch, that I was really surprised with the results. And this is raw sienna, which is a yellow in its own right, but is often batched in the browns. See how clean I can keep this. Because phthalo is quite a strong blue, I'm just making sure I'm not contaminating. So keep my yellow on this side. And again, you can see the lovely colour of that yellow. And Prussian blue, a dark blue. I don't know if you have it in your colour palette, but it's interesting to see what will happen. So let's try a 50-50 mix. It's not exactly 50-50, it's approximately. Oops, I forgot to put the first wash on. So it makes quite a mid-green. Let me put the swatch on the Prussian blue. Look at that rich blue. So again, I could go into cool colours, warm colours, but I think that's taking it into another stage. At the moment, I think doing is the best way of learning. So if I add, I'll do yellow because at the moment that's, add more yellow. Wow. And even more yellow. Look at those colours. Let's try it the other way around. Let's go back to more blue. Look at that. And even more blue. This is the thing I like about watercolours, is the ability to be able to mix almost any colour under the sun with just so few colours. Look at that, that is a wonderful colour. So again, let me do a swatch of the mid-tone. Take off some colour all the way through. How wet can I get it? So you can see how, when you make it more transparent, how the colour comes through. I mean, at the moment, these are wet, so they're quite strong, and they will fade as they go into the paper to about half the strength. But I mean, I love that colour. You can see the potential for it, and you could think, oh, I know where that would fit in lovely. So get yourself set out. Get some practice paper or paper, use the back of old paintings, and just get the colours out you've got. If you don't want to do the whole range in one go, it looks overwhelming. Couple of colours, 3 colours. I mean, we could go on to 3 colour mixing, but that usually tends to make mud. But actually, if you look at your colour charts, you can make a lovely brown by the right blue and the right red, or the right yellow and the right blue. You know, so I think, like I said before, doing is learning, and I think these exercises are a really essential part of having your colours. When you get your first little pan palette, even if you just do simple swatches of each colour, you're then giving yourself a head start on understanding what colours you have, you know, and then where they'll fit into what you're trying to paint. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a play and try like I've just done. So join me soon for another live demonstration.
Let us bring out the artist in you. If you'd like to learn how to paint or improve your painting, the SAA, Society for All Artists, is here to inform, encourage, and inspire you every step of the way. When you become an SAA member, you get so many benefits, including the free bi-monthly newsletter Paint, packed with inspiring step-by-step projects, fascinating articles, and detailed information to get your creative juices flowing. Discounts on over 13,000 art products featured on the SAA website and in the Home Shop catalogue, with free order line and free delivery in the UK mainland. A devoted SAA team on hand to answer your questions and give you the confidence and motivation you need to start painting and develop at a pace that suits you. Plus, a free welcome pack filled with gifts and practical help to get you started, as well as the opportunity to make friends with like-minded people.
First thing to be a member is the inspiration from the magazines, to be able to purchase things at a very reasonable price.
Yeah, you get the reduction on all the materials, the advice you get.
I can shop from home.
It's a community.
It seemed like a very friendly sort of organisation.
If somebody's thinking of joining, don't spend too long thinking. Just join. They'll love it.